Good afternoon and happy Friday. I got my water bottle here with me in case. Sorry. It's from Starbucks. My daughter got it for me because she knows I like Starbucks. But I brought it with me just in case my throat, because you hear my throat and it always seems to happen when I'm on camera. But happy Friday again. I have some exciting news. The Ministry of Caymanian Employment and Immigration has released some information. I think I might have gotten myself in trouble by saying something which was publicly stated in the Parliament, that the new immigration amendments would not go into effect until around March 1st, 2026. And so the ministry has issued an official statement, I would call it, and it says, I'm reading verbatim: on Friday, 12th of December 2025, Parliament passed the Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill, which has now been gazetted as the Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Act 2025. I'm not sure why they're gazetting it under the bill's name when they said they were changing it to the Caymanian Immigration Act, but I'm just going to go with it as being written here. And it says, this milestone legislation represents the most significant reform to immigration policy, reaffirming the government's commitment to placing Caymanians at the center of the nation's immigration framework. The Act introduces strengthened legal and administrative safeguards, ensuring greater clarity, transparency, and resilience against future challenges. Following extensive debate and the adoption of key amendments, which were debated during committee in Parliament, the Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Act 2025 establishes a modernized system designed to protect the rights of Caymanians while balancing the country's economic and social needs. Minister of Caymanian Employment and Immigration, the Honourable Michael Miles, MP, hailed the passage of the Act as a defining moment for our islands and one which was long overdue, to quote Minister Miles. A formal commencement date has not yet been set by Cabinet. This is where I got everything stirred up in the pot, because I said that it was said in Parliament and aired publicly on the government's YouTube channel that the amendments would go into effect on March 1st, 2026. But now they're saying a formal commencement date has not yet been set by Cabinet. However, commencement is anticipated within the first quarter of 2026. And what that means, Cabinet is where all of the ministers for the government sits, and their permanent secretaries, I believe they are, deputy governor and so forth, to give you a little parliamentary history. And they do that in the government building or wherever they decide they're going to sit, I heard. And the commencement date is usually the date when they put everything into place, when everything starts. And the first quarter is usually between January, February, March, and April. A quarter is 4, right? And that's 4 months. So sometime between, in the first quarter, in the first 4 months of 2026. Be careful, guys, and listen. I'm reading from what government is saying here. Even though when I did my video, I was quoting from what was said in Parliament and was aired publicly, they have now released information to say that the commencement date, this means the start date, the date that the amendments will take effect, will be, they anticipate meaning they expect, within the first quarter of 2026. So make sure you watch this video over again and listen properly. The public will be advised well in advance. I don't know how advanced that is, if it's within the first quarter. In advance to me means 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, but let's see what happens of the commencement date to ensure that both employers and employees have adequate time to prepare. Adequate time to me, Cayman Islands government, mean months ahead. This is December 19th, and so adequate time would have been from now to give employers that first quarter of 2026 to get in place. So maybe it could go into April, who knows. I gotta be careful what I say on these videos, because some of you take my words and run with them in your interpretation and your version instead of listening to me carefully, because I am very careful when I choose my words. I've had people approach me and say, hey Pat, you know how to speak better than you speak on these videos, you know how to use better words and so forth. And I have to say, I know that about me, you know that about me, but majority of the people that are watching my videos do not understand the bigger words. They're not sure how all the bigger words play into what I am trying to get across to them. So I have to break it down and try to speak in plain words and language so people can understand. And a lot of times some people still ask me questions even though I think I've been very clear. So again, I'm going to go over that. A formal commencement date, a formal start date of when the new amendments will go into place has not been set by Cabinet. However, commencement is anticipated within the first quarter of 2026. The public will be advised well in advance of the commencement date to ensure that both employers and employees have adequate time to prepare. The public can stay up to date on next steps by following the Ministry of Caymanian Employment social media pages, or review the act published by visiting the publication section. That's a disclaimer that they have to put. I don't know why they put that, because they know at least 70% of who deals with immigration really do not. I bet if I post this on my page, more than all 90% of the people on my pages will not understand half of what this is saying. So that's why I do these videos, because I think I break it down in order for people to better understand, especially the people that work and immigration are catering to, even our Caymanians. You know, a lot don't understand a lot of this verbiage, even when it's written like this. Is pretty simplified, I would think, but still, many don't know what commencement means. You know, it simply means when it's starting, when it's beginning. And within the first quarter, that means within the first 4 months of 2026. I don't think that would be adequate time for employers especially and employees to prepare. But hey, the government makes the rules, and that's what they're saying. Within the first quarter of 2026, they anticipate the new amendments will go into effect, and they will give adequate time. So their adequate time may be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know, so that's all I'm going to say about that. I am still looking to get the new fee increases. I will do another quick video on that. I was trying to be a little festive here today. I felt like being festive, so I put on my red and navy blue. And it kind of perked things up a little bit. So the fees, like I said, there's really nothing about the fees yet to say exactly what those fees will be, but I can do another video to say what types of fees will be increasing, so you guys can know that and to look out for that. But again, that's the release from Ministry of Caymanian Employment about the new immigration amendments, which will be the new Caymanian Protection Act. They didn't say that here, but that's what they were changing the name to. So talk to you soon.